Voila. Okay, well, we can start sitting, guys, today. And we'll just start with a little bit of breath work. I'm sitting on a stool, but you got, sit cross-legged, probably cross-legged on the floor. If you have a block, oh, what happened? I can't see anyone. Oh, there we go. Good. That was a bit disconcerting. Thought I'd shut you all off. All right. So sit either cross-legged or on a stool or something where you can really ground your weight into the floor. And then just take a moment to start breathing through your nose. So you might want to stick your fingertips just either side of your nostrils. And just take a few breaths and notice how your nostrils gently flare out into your fingertips. And you might think, well, I can't flare my nostrils. And I thought that too. But actually, you'll notice there's a little bit of movement there. So just take a few, just noticing that. In and out through the nose. And if you breathe out through the mouth, that's absolutely fine, especially as it becomes a little bit more dynamic as we get going. Good. Okay, and then we're going to do somewhat of a mindfulness exercise. So we're going to imagine the head. If you take your hands either side of your face, imagine your head is like a vase or a glass of water, and you're going to tip the water forward. So you're tipping your head forward. So it's quite passive with your head. You're really kind of tipping it forwards. And if you don't like the image of water, you could imagine grains of sand. So tipping the grains of sand then backwards slowly. And try to be very present. So it's all about the quality of your presence in the movement. It's really slow. And then you're going to tip the water or the grains of sand over to one ear. And slowly back to the center. Doing it very carefully. You don't want to spill over the edges. Tipping slowly to the other side. Can you notice whether you're breathing nice and gently through the nose? And center. Good. Take your hands away. You're going to slowly circle your head around, but still with this image that you're swirling the water around inside your glass. Slowly swirling. And it's a really good way to get you into your bodies, even though it's a head movement. And then go slowly in the opposite direction. So this is not forceful at all. Taking your time. Good. And then just bring yourself back to the center. Make sure my battery is charging. Bring your hands into your heart center this time. And now you're going to make a circle around, kind of similar in the movement. And you can give yourself the image again of water, but it's a little harder to do with your chest. But there's a swirling action around the hands. So you're really going into your upper body, your chest. You might notice there's little pockets of tension inside between the ribs, the connective tissue, the fascia around your rib cage, around the diaphragm, even going around in the opposite direction. See if you can just get into any little places with this very kind of subtle movement. Good. I always get a little bit in the diaphragm for this. And then come back. You're going to take one hand down to the floor, take the other arm and just stretch it up over your head and take a big deep breath in to right at the base of the ribs. So if you want to stick a hand there, stick a hand there. Otherwise, keep it on the floor. In through the nose and then releasing. Place that hand down, take the other arm up and over. Just notice any differences between your sides. Deep breath in there. And bringing it back. Then go to the first side, lift through the spine, creating space, over you go. And now pivot your body towards your hand and think of opening out a little bit more to the back of the ribs. And then bring it back. And up and over. I know I'm sitting on a stool, but you can imagine I'm sitting cross-legged. Rotate. And take a deep breath more in towards the back of the ribs. And release. And then place your hands on your thighs and you're going to just stretch the shoulders up and around. See if you can go into the tension. So just notice the tension and breathing in through the nose. And as you exhale, just tell yourself, I can let a little bit of this tension go. One more time. Good. Wonderful, wonderful. Let's bring ourselves onto all fours. I'm going to transfer you. I need my wire because I stupidly have not charged my laptop enough today. So let me plug you in. Okay, so let's meet. Good, we're charging. Perfect. Let's meet on all fours. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hip bones. And start by now allowing your breath down into the belly and just circling your pelvis around. So easy tailbone circles. Can you breathe nice and fluidly? And the other way around. Just noticing, playfully noticing anything that's going on in your body. Now go for the ribs. So I really like to think of going sort of deep in the ocean for this one. So you're some kind of jellyfish-like creature. And you're allowing a playful kind of improvised movement of the rib cage. Getting into any little pockets of tension, going around in the opposite direction if you're doing a more circular movement. And just notice that the shoulder blades are moving, the pelvis is still moving, but you're directing your movement right from the center of the spine, that thoracic spine. And then just bring it back to the center. Bit more structured now, rounding through the spine like a cat, taking a deep breath. And then you want to imagine a wave going through the spine as you open the collarbones, lift your eyes, open your face. And then notice the contraction as you round. So you want to press through the fingertips as you round the spine, lifting up underneath the belly button, and then reversing it and creating length and space within your spine. Good. 2 more of these. Notice your breathing, rounding, breathing in nice and deeply, and reversing it. And try and, again, take the time to be really in the whole journey of the movement. So can you put your mind's eye into the spine as it curves, and then putting your mind's eye into the spine, like a whole journey through the spine, right to the tip of your nose. Good. And then just bring your spine right into the center. You're going to tuck your toes underneath you. Let me tuck this in. You're going to tuck your toes underneath you, press through your fingertips and just hover your knees into the air. And just notice that the shoulders take some load. So you want to push through the fingertips. Good. And your lower belly, below the belly button, is taking a little bit of load as well. So just hold for a moment, take a nice deep breath, and then release it. If you know you get wristy issues, you can always do the rolling up the mat trick, yeah, where you get the fingers off the end of the mat, and that will take a little bit of strain off the center of your wrist, okay? That's a good trick. Okay, we're adding a little bit, okay? So you're going to take the right arm to the ceiling, take a deep breath in, push through your fingertips, thread your hand underneath towards the left. So you might get down to the shoulder, you might not. Take a deep breath in here. Bring it back to the center. Now you're going to push through both hands, tuck the toes, and hover the knees. Hold, nice deep breath, and release. Untuck the toes, take the other arm to the ceiling, deep breath in, and threading slowly underneath to the opposite side. Hold it here for a little moment, take a deep breath into the rotation, bring it back, plant the fingers down, notice your fingertips, hover the knees into the air, taking a deep breath into the back of the ribs, and release. We go again, right hand to the ceiling, breathing in, and breathing out. Deep breath in here. And bring it back to the center. So don't worry too much if you're not really down with the whole breathing, very structured breathing thing. Yeah, as long as you're breathing through your nose, that's great. And release. So certainly breathing in through your nose. Other arm. And threading. Deep breath in here. And bring it back. Plant the hands down, tuck the toes under, and hover those knees. Now, see if you can stay here and tap one hand to one shoulder and change. We're trying to do 10 here. 3, 4. Keep lifting the lower abdominals upwards. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then just yawn your hips backwards into a downward dog. Take a nice deep breath in here. Rise onto your toes. And then sink your heels slowly back down to the ground. And then you're bringing your knees forward. We're going to do 10 more, okay? So bring the knees slowly forwards. Weight over the hands. We go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Keep breathing. 7, 8, 9, 10. One more yawn with hips back and up. And then just rise onto your toes, take a deep breath, and send the heels down to the ground. Good. And then just release your knees down to the mat. Take the knees a little bit wider than your hip bones, and do some big, juicy hip circles around. Just allow the hips to feel like they're made of treacle or honey or liquid gold, whatever sparks your imagination here. But something really viscous and sort of fluid. And the other way, can you check in with your breath as well? Just noticing your breath gently flowing in through your nose. Easy bellies. You don't really need the abs for this bit. Let your bellies really relax. And then just bring yourself back into the center. So pop the knees underneath your hip bones. You're going to take your right leg forwards. So you're in a lunge. Good. Okay. And then just take a gentle rock forwards. So if you notice, if you kind of sink into the hip, you're going to be putting extra strain in the front here. So you want to lift up through your spine. Lift it out of your hands. Good, and then rock your hips slowly, slowly backwards until you feel a bit of a pull going right down the back of that leg. Nice. You could even flex the foot if you kind of come up a little bit more on the fingertips. And then release your foot down and take another little rock forwards. You could, I'll spin this way so you can see better, use your elbow to just gently nudge the knee open as well. Yeah. Good. Now, we're going to take the weight slightly backwards. We're going to move the foot onto the inside of the hands. Tuck your back toes underneath you. Lunge. Look down and just check that your kneecap is pointing over your second toe. Yeah, so it's not rolling inwards. Just really making sure of that. And also you want to make sure your hip bones are both pointing forwards. We're going to come up and we're doing a few lunges, so a bit of leg work. Press through the front foot. You're going to slowly lift your hands off the floor. I'm going to move the camera in a minute so you can see me better. Glide the arms over your head. And then you're going to slowly bring the hands back down and take a little tap of the floor. Same again. I'm just going to move the camera. You guys keep going. Okay. Beautiful. Lovely, lovely. Take you even further back. All right. Good. So just notice as you're doing these movements, can you really wrap the sit bones together to give your pelvis some really nice support underneath? Good. Last one or two. Tapping and reaching and tap. Slowly, slowly feel that floor underneath your feet, giving you all the support you need. From here, can you just bend the back knee down towards the floor? And stretch it. Bend the back knee. And stretch. Just a couple more and just gently notice that you've got an internal zip going from your pubic bone up towards your belly button as that knee drops towards the floor. So it is a bit of a stretch. It's an opening stretch as well. Good. Now, stay in your lunge, grab a hold of your top wrist and take a little reach over towards your front leg. Little side bend, so a stretch. Deep breath in here. Okay, now come to a squat position. Squatting, sinking the hips backwards. In your squat position, can you take your fingertips to your sit bones and actively wrap your sitting bones towards each other? You're trying to really squeeze them together. Hold them there and sink your bottom a little bit lower. Like you're sitting on a really low stool, your legs should be firing up a little bit. Reach your hands forwards, zipping up through the front of the body as well. Nice deep breath here. Okay, and then release just to stand. Good. Come to the backs of your mats. I'm just going to change my camera angle totally so you can see all of this stuff. Okay, come and stand at the backs of your mats. You're going to take a roll down to the floor, slowly down. And then you're going to walk your hands forwards into your downward dog, yeah? Good. From there, rising up nice and high onto the toes. And then sink the heels downwards. And then come back to your all fours position. And you're going to change sides. Let me spin. So you're going to take the left foot forwards. This is your little break, by the way. Keep breathing, nice deep breaths. Taking a rock forwards, gently through the hip. So remember just to lift up and out of the hip. Watch that we don't sink into the joint. Really lifting. And then slowly, slowly rocking the weight backwards. You could flex through the foot if you come up onto the fingertips a bit more. And just notice that tug along the back line of your leg. Good. Roll yourself forwards again. Using your arms to support you really in these positions. Good. Now you're going to walk your foot onto the inside of your hand. Tuck the back toes underneath so you're in your lunge. Check kneecap pointing over second toe. Really plant that foot down. Start to just lift those arms up towards the ceiling. Reaching up over your head and then slowly reaching back down again. Nice. Keep going, guys. Slowly reaching up over your head and slowly reaching back down, tapping either side. Gently zipping up through those abdominals as you do this one. Good, 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 good. Keep going. It's looking fantastic. Well done. Beautiful. Good. Last couple. And slowly up. When you've done your last one, you're going to grab a hold of the top wrist and just gently reach over to the side. So you're going towards your front knee. Deep breath in here. You know what's coming. You're going to bring the arms around, bring the foot forwards into your squat. I'll go sideways so you can see a bit better. Zipping up from the pelvic floor up through to the belly button. Squeezing and wrapping the sit bones. Get those fingers into your butt and really, well, not into your butt, just on your hips and wrapping around, squeezing them together. Then take the arms away. Good. And we're going to do a few here. So sink, sink, sink. And then lifting tall. So as you swing the arms, can you also think of those gluteals really wrapping and engaging? And lifting tall. So as you do this, also just watching those kneecaps. So as you go down, we don't want knees knocking together. We want knees pointing right over the second toes. And lifting. Good. 5 more. Swinging easily, deep breathing. And up. Can you notice your feet in the floor? Pressing through the feet is going to help give you support. It's going to help activate those leg muscles. And swinging, nice and easy. And up. Last 2. And lift. And 1. Good, brilliant. And coming up. Take the legs open nice and wide. Let's give the hips a little bit more opening as opposed to parallel. So just take a few gentle bends and stretches. in this nice wide position. Notice that your hips are widening at this point. You might want to put your fingertips into the back of the thighs and just press your thigh bones into your fingertips, which will help to activate that external rotation from your glutes. Good. So can we add arms? You're going to bend the knees, a little bit of coordination, take the arms over your head. Good. Stretch the knees and bring the hands down through your center. Good. Bend the knees, sweep the arms over, stretch the knees and glide the arms down. So let's go for breathing in and breathing out. Really take your time on your out breath. Inhale and exhale. Notice how damn strong your legs are. Really feel those legs. They're like mountains. Not in size, just in strength, in power. And so really finding the floor through those feet, connecting those feet down deep below the ground underneath you. Notice that support. Good, one more time. And now, hold this ball that you've created in your hands. Bend the knees again. You're going to take your ball. This is a little bit more tai chi, like you're going to take it and bring it across to one side. So you're rotating in your spine. You're going to spin the ball in your hands and take it across slowly and smoothly to the other side. And spin it in your hands. Can you really pour your attention into the ball? You can give it a color, a weight, even what it's made from. It might be energetic. Or you might go, my ball is made from blue glass. Whatever you fancy. But as you do this, just notice those really strong legs you've got. A very easy rotation in your upper body. Nice. Try not to let the hips move. Your legs should be really firing up by now. And if they're not, bend those knees a little bit more. Last one. Okay, bring the ball to the center. Take the ball over your head. Let it release, but let all that energy you just brought into it trickle down through your arms, and slowly, slowly, as slow as you can, release your arms, stretch your legs, bring yourself upright. Nice, very good. Bring the legs in, give them a little shake. Yeah, have a sip of water. We're going to go down to the mat again, but we will meet. Let's meet on our backs, okay? I'm doing a lot of position changing, which requires a lot of laptop shifting. All right, good. Bring balls and things if you've got them. Don't worry if you haven't. I mean, it's absolutely fine with that. You can also use cushion between the knees. When it's basically any time we're doing bridges or things like that, or abdominals where you feel like you want to work the inner thighs a bit more, then it's really useful. Okay, hop onto your backs, guys. So I might just for this first one, I'll use a ball or a cushion. Plant the feet hip distance apart. Try not to have the feet too far away from your pelvis. So about, a foot away, roughly. Check with the hands what's going on. It's really useful to get your hands on your own body and not to be afraid of it, of touching the body, okay? Just take a few gentle pelvic tilts into the mat and away from the mat. And into the mat and away from the mat. And if you put your hands in the front of the hips, can you keep those hips so nice and squishy and jelly-like? Those hip flexors, which also tend to carry a lot of tension because we walk and we cycle and or sitting, shortens the hip flexors too. All kinds of reasons. See how easy and open you can keep the hips as you rock your lower back into the mat and away from the mat. Can I also then draw your attention to your deeper pelvic muscles? So the pelvic floor, lifting up where the genitals are, that kind of lifting, scooping, deep below your skin surface, up towards your belly button as your lower back rocks to the mat and then releases away. And can you also notice how they can release? So there's got to be both the contraction and then the release, expansion. So just notice you don't want to be contracted all the time. That is not strength, that is tension. So rocking, allowing the muscles, the deep pelvic muscles, just to gently switch on. Find them, notice them, and then release away and let them go. And switching on. You might want to exhale as you do that one, and then inhale on the release. And that just works naturally with your breath anyway. Contraction on the exhale, expansion on the inhale. Don't worry if that's too much to think about right now. Now take your pelvis on a circle around your mat. So you're pivoting your pelvis. It's a little bit like we did with the glass of water when we were sitting. So can you imagine your pelvis is like a bowl, like a nice large bowl of water? Or if that makes you want to pee, then imagine a marble. And you're going to swirl your marble around inside the basin of your pelvis, which is actually in Latin the meaning of pelvis. And then can you swirl it around in the opposite direction whilst really noticing the bones in your pelvis moving against your mat. So really putting your mind into the bones, not worrying too much about muscles and things. Good, lovely. Okay, let's go for a bridge or two. So a little bit more dynamic. As you rock your lower back into the mat, can you gently lift through those pelvic muscles? If you've got a cushion or a ball, you might want to squeeze it and start to roll up, and you'll feel the inner thighs activating. And as you roll up, can you really lead with your pubic bone so that you get those gluteals activated? And when you get to the top of your movement, can you make sure you're not really going above bra height? So get a hand on the chest and just allow your chest to soften down as much as you can, nice and soft with the chest. Take a breath, and you might want to stretch the arms all the way over your head, and then slowly rolling back down to your mat, through your spine. Fluid spine, nice and controlled. Back to neutral. Bring the arms forward and just take a moment to let everything relax. Good. Let's go again. So switching on, pelvic floor, rolling up. If your cushion is too skinny and your legs are sort of, squeezing together too much, then just get rid of the cushion and just really align those knees, yeah? Yeah, okay. And stretching over your head when you get there, just check in, pubic bone to the ceiling. Is my chest soft and sort of cushioning down towards the floor, rolling through the spine, gliding the arms forward. Now you might just want to stick with this regular one, especially if you're newer in the class. Otherwise, we're going to add a little side bend. So you're going to roll up through your spine first. You're going to take just one arm over your head. So let's say the right arm is going over. Now you're going to side stretch. So you're reaching your left hand down to your left ankle. So you're in tiny banana shape. And you're going to roll down. And you'll notice that that right side is getting more length as you roll down through it. It can be really nice to get into one side of the spine that's tighter. And then pivot yourself back to the middle, to the center. Squeeze the ball, start to roll up through your spine again. Pubic bone to the ceiling, remember. Take the left arm over your head this time. Do a little side bend, so you're reaching your right hand to your right ankle. It might be very small, it doesn't need to be a massive one. Rolling through the spine, soften the chest. Firstly, soften your face, soften your throat, soften your chest as you roll down, extending more through your left side. So I don't know about you, but I find, okay, the right side of my spine is tighter, so I will feel it more in the right side, always. Okay, one more in the middle, just so we're even. Breathing out, rolling up. Deep breath in, glide the arms over your heads. Breathing out, rolling down through your spine. Now, you're going to come forwards with the arms, the head, the chest towards the ball. Good, and you're doing little reaches with the arms. If it's too much on the neck, you can put your hands behind the head. 4, 5, squeeze your ball, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good, now reach your arms to the ceiling, try and stay up. Bring your hands behind your heads. Squeeze the ball for 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Release your head down to the mat. Good, excellent. We're going to add, so the elbows are coming in. Take a deep breath. As you breathe out, curl forwards, look to the ball or the cushion or just between the knees. Squeeze that ball and just pull your belly button down. Imagine I've got my finger on your belly button and pressing your belly button down into the mat even more. And then release your head and chest back down. Good. A small note on looking at your belly as you come forward. So as you curl forwards, can you just look at your belly and say something really nice to it? So I was thinking about this week after I had a session with a private client. But what messages are we sending to our bodies? Yeah. So really say something nice. I'm not going to tell you what to say. Say something nice to your belly about how strong it is or how it's getting stronger all the time, every class you do. And releasing down. There are certain areas of our bodies that we know we don't say nice things to. So see if you can just change that. Tell it something nice for once. Elbows coming in, breathing out, curl forwards. Take a beautiful, big, deep breath in. Breathing out, squeeze the ball, pull your belly button down into the mat. Say something nice to it. And notice if you find that hard to do as well. Just notice that curiously. One more time, elbows coming in. If you find it easy to do, then, you're fine. Deep breath in. Breathing out, belly button pulling in. And releasing back down again. Excellent. We're going to remove the hands. We're going to go back into the bridge. So we're chopping and changing a little bit today. Roll yourself back up into your bridge. Place the hands on, so you've got fingertips on the pubic bone, heels of the hands on the hip bones. So you're making like I'm just going to tilt so you can see like a triangle. And then you're going to lower your bottom towards the mat, and you're going to scoop it up and think of really scooping from the pubic bone. We're doing 10 here. If you've got a ball between the knees, squeeze the ball. 3. Try and keep the chest nice and heavy and relaxed. 5. 6, squeeze. You should feel the glutes and the backs of the legs engaging. 8, 9, 10. Good. Roll down through your spine for a moment. Let the ball go if you've got one there. Good. Take the feet open about mat width apart. So really wide. Really, really wide. Arms to the sides. And then you're going to roll both knees over to the right or one side, doesn't matter. Allow your top leg just to fall towards the mat. If you have any hip issues, okay, you can obviously keep this much smaller. Deep breath in. And breathing out and just gently roll. Feel the bones rolling against the mat. And then roll the bones to the other side. You might want to turn your head in the opposite direction. Allow that top knee, the top thigh, to rotate inwards on this one. And just roll and reach down away from you. Deep breath. And rolling back through the center. Now bring your feet and knees together. Good. Same thing, rolling the knees over to the right, but then the feet and the knees are glued together. So slowly take them over. You can let your head roll in the opposite direction. Take a beautiful big deep breath. Breathing out, roll the knees back. Good, and the other side. Just notice that if there are any moments where you tend to hold on to your breath, just see if you can notice that. And just consciously keep that breath flowing, slowly rolling back. It's a really good messenger if you know you do that. Okay, from here, we're going back into your bridge. We're going to either take one leg in the air in the bridge, or, and let me demonstrate that better, either you're going to take the whole leg in the air, more loaded, we're doing downs and ups again, or you're going to take one heel in the air, less loaded downs and ups, 10. So pick your position. Remember, you're only ever in competition with yourself, your previous self. So rolling up. This is the great thing about Zoom, actually. You're not sort of in a studio on mats comparing yourself to everyone else. Yeah, it's so easy to do. Okay, so heel in the air or knee in the air, and we're going down and up for 10. 1. Good. Try and get the chest to soften down and think of directing the pubic bone up. 4. And obviously, the bigger the movement, the more load is going through your hip. 6. So keep it small if you need to. 7. 8. 9. 10. Now, can you extend your leg towards the ceiling? Reach the arms. Reach, 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 reach. And then slowly change the legs over. Picking up the other leg. Try and keep the hip bones level or the heel. We go down and up for 10. And you might want to keep the hands on and just feel like the pubic bone is directed upwards. 3, 4, excellent. Hip bones level. 5, you should feel that bottom working. 6, 7, 8, last 2, 9, 10, good. Extend, reach the arms if you can. Reach, 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 reach. Deep breath. Slowly release your foot down. Take those arms over your head, rolling, melting through your body like an ice cream. Good. And then pick up one knee, pick up the second knee, and just hug them in and just take some big circles around. Easy, easy, easy. Good. Okay, we're going to do a little bit more stability work. So let's go for heels together. Knees are apart. Hands are going back behind your head, but we won't lift the head yet. So keep the head on the floor for a moment. All you're going to do is extend both legs forwards. As they go forwards, if you know you've got hip or lower back issues, you might want to keep them nice and high. Yes, otherwise, zip up through the abdominals and you're only going as low as you can really keep that lower back very supported. Bend the knees in. So extend away on the exhale. And inhale, come back. You will want to think like you're blowing out birthday candles. So you're really harnessing your out breath to engage those deep abdominals that will support your spine. Just do a few more. I'm just going to change my camera angle a little bit. Good. Last one, guys. Okay, now we're going to add the head coming forwards. If this is too much for you, just keep your feet on the floor. Yeah, that's, you know, really not an issue. Just listen to your bodies. So you're going to extend the legs forwards like you just did. Bend the knees and curl towards both knees. That's 1. Extend the legs forwards. Bend the knees and curl towards both knees. That's 2. Reaching away. And in 3. If it starts to feel too much, okay, you can do like a half reach. So keep the knees bent. And curl 4. Or keep the feet on the floor. And curl 5. Last couple. We'll go for 8, yeah? And curl 6. And 7. Last 1. And 8. Good. Hug the knees for a little moment. Give them a squeeze. We'll just do a few obliques. Yes, you could also do this with the feet on the floor if you need to. Hands behind the head. Extend one leg forwards. Bend the other knee in. And we change. 1, 2, 3. Keep smiling. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Those who want to go faster for 10, go for it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Keep breathing. 7, 8, 9, 10. And bring them in. Well done, you beauties. Well done. Give the hips a little rock. Lovely. Okay. And then just keep the knees over the hip bones. Glue them together. Arms open to the sides. And you're going to slowly, slowly. Again, you keep your feet on the floor if you need to. Slowly roll the knees over to one side. And then from the abdominals, really control it back. Yeah, so really make sure you harness the abdominals again, particularly on the way back. Yeah, really get those abs firing, then bring the knees back. Well done. So you don't want to just activate the hip flexors or overuse the back. Those of you who want to add, because I know we've got a variety of levels going on here today. So if anyone wants to add single leg or double leg, so I'll do a single leg so you can go over, keep the knees together, extend the top leg away, bend the top leg back in, and roll back. And over. And extend the top leg, bend it back in, and center. You could do double legs. So you go over, really pull the belly button to your spine if you're doing this one. Extend, bend the knees, and center. You can always roll your head in the opposite direction. Yeah, so it's nice. Counterbalance. And in. Good. Well done. Hold on to the right knee. Pop your left foot down. That's it. Now hug the back of the right thigh. Slowly unfold that leg towards the ceiling. Flex the foot and just circle your foot around a few times. Yeah. Easing any tension in your ankle. Checking in with your breath. Bend the knee. Curl forwards towards your knee. And then walk your hands around your calf muscle. And then unfold the leg towards the ceiling. Doesn't need to be straight, obviously. And then you're going to roll back down. Bring your leg with you as you go back down to the mat. Good. Flex your foot. And if you want to add more stretch, you could slide your underneath leg away as well and flex through both feet. Just feel what feels it right for you. You don't want to feel like, you know, you're about to snap. But if you can breathe through it and just notice the tension and breathing out, just taking some nice deep sighs as well. Ah, good. Snowshoe feet, really wide feet. And then just take your leg slightly across your midline as well. Just ever so slightly across. So you don't want to be lifting the hip off. That's it. And bring it back. Release your knee, plant the foot down onto the mat, hug the other knee in. And then hold underneath your thigh and just slowly extend that leg towards the ceiling. Of course, you could use a band if you prefer for this. Flex your foot, circle your ankle around a few times. And the other way. And then bend your knee in. Walk your head towards your knee. Wrap your hands around the belly of the calf. Slowly unfold your leg and then rolling, just noticing if the hips, so see if you can really sink the hips down into the ground. Roll yourself back to the mat, taking your leg with you. Nice, good, well done. Flex that foot. Spread out the foot. If you want to add a little more, you could unfold your lower leg and also flex that foot. So you've got both feet flexing. Spreading out the toes. Draw your legs slightly across your midline. Good. Well done. Release it back to the center. Nice deep breath in. And let it go. Whew. And release down. Excellent. Okay. Roll yourselves onto your sides. I've done quite a lot of leg work today, actually. But you will do a side plank. I know you all love it, or you love to hate it. So someone was saying over in one of my other group classes that they really don't like this position on the elbow. So often I'm going to be getting you guys to go into this position where elbow is underneath the shoulder joint. You can also, of course, do it with two legs bent, even one leg. Yeah. Or you can alternatively go up on the hand, if that's better for you and you have elbow issues and you want to do it up on the hand. I think, Charlotte, you do that as well, don't you? Then go for that position. For me, I find it easier, though, to get those right muscles engaged if I go on my elbow. Yeah, and you can always roll up your mat as well to give yourself extra elbow padding. Okay, up we go. Hips in the air. You can do it, top arm reaching, and we lift. 1 and down. It's like you're opening the biggest broadsheet newspaper you've ever seen in your life. So really think expanding through the arm. Wide, taking up as much space as you can and noticing your space around you as well. That can also help draw the attention away from everything that's hurting. 5 more, if you can. Just noticing that arm in space. Last couple. Well done. And 1. Anyone wants to go for a starfish, go for it. Boop. And slowly down. Brilliant. One side down, one to go. Let's go. Elbow under or on the hand, of course. Top foot in front, or you can always bend that underneath knee. And we lift. 1 and down. Follow your hand through space, opening a very large book. Good. And 4. So guys, continue going. If this is too much for you, just bend the knee and see if you can just continue like that. Yeah. Last 4. And 3. It's very good loading for the upper body, especially for women. Anti-osteoporosis. 1. Lift, take a side bend, take a starfish, and slowly release it back down to the ground. Great. Good stuff. Bend the knees and bring yourself down. What you might want to do, we're going to do a really nice relaxing exercise now, is you could get a cushion and pop it underneath your head. Demo. Knees bent, arms reaching forwards, and just use this as a chance to check in with the breath, to do some stress release. So you're going to extend your top arm forwards. We've done this a few times. You're going to follow, this is really key, with your eyes. Follow your fingertip as it draws a line up the inside of your arm, and then it draws a line across your chest, and then it opens out. So you've got 2 arms extended. You look at your fingertips, and now follow your fingertips through space, slowly back until they meet your other hand. And then we go again. We maybe do this, so it's going to be slow, so 3 or 4 of these tops really. Extend your arm, drawing a line. Notice the sensation of your fingertip. If you've got no long sleeve on, which most of us probably don't, you can really notice that sensation of your finger gliding against your skin. Notice it gliding against the collarbones, and then see how it feels as it floats through the air. And then slowly gliding the arm forwards again. Good. And really key is following with the eyes. Just do 1 or 2 more of these in your own time. Use this as an opportunity to really explore sensations, sensing, any sensations that are occurring in your body, which will be completely different for all of us. It's a chance to just tap into that, and that requires slowing down and really focusing. It's a great way to relieve stress in your body and to give us a sense of stability and support. Good. When you have finished this last one, so don't rush it, please, you're going to come back through the center, and then just where you are, you join us in a quad stretch, because we're here, we might as well. Grab the ankle and just take that knee slowly backwards until you get a bit of a stretch. We've done quite a lot of hip flexor stretching, but certainly doesn't hurt to do a bit more. So long, just check in that the kneecap is not too high, and it's also not sort of sunk to the floor. It wants to be in line with your hip bone. Also, just be really aware of lifting through the lower abdominals. Good. Take a breath. Let it go. And release your legs. Spin yourself slowly around. Take the time really, so you might just want to roll onto the other side of your mat because you know what you're doing. You can just, you know, listen, I'm going to spin around just so I'm facing the camera. Take your time with this one, 3 or 4. And this, you're on a separate side, so start like you've never done this before. That sort of beginner's mindset. You've never done this exercise before. You don't know what's going to happen. Extend the arm. Can you just check your breathing nice and easily through your nose as your hand slowly glides, your fingertips glide along your arm in a very continuous movement. Open. Watching your fingertips as they glide through space, back down to meet your other hand. And you might want to notice as you're doing this, with using your other senses, is there any sound going on that's coming into the space? Just notice, that's all. Any smells? The sensation of touch. Good. Just finish off this last one that you're doing. Again, really don't rush it. Take all the time you need. And then when you are done, you can reach down and just grab a hold of your ankle and just give that quad a stretch. Gently be aware of lifting through your lower abdominals as you do this. We are nearly done, guys. Nice and easy. Deep breath. Checking the alignment. Okay, good. Release that leg. All we're going to do to finish is do a pigeon or a glute stretch. So you have 2 options. Easier one would be, or sort of less, you know, if you have hip issues or knee issues, you might want to go for that one. Yeah, so foot crossed over opposite thigh, hands threading through, pulling that knee towards you. Try and keep the knee relatively open. Try and keep your bottom grounding into the floor at the same time. You could also put a foot against a wall as well, or pigeon. Yeah, so I would imagine most of you are pigeoning, but there'll be a few of you who it just doesn't suit everyone. This, but those who love it, I love it. So you're going to go to a downward dog. You're going to take the right knee to, I'll mirror you, right knee to right wrist. And then if you can, you just shuffle that foot forwards and slowly slide your hips down to the floor. So you might feel like you're sort of somewhere open here. Can you take the back hip and roll the hip bone towards the mat? And if you need to put the ball or the cushion somewhere to kind of support the hip, go for it, pad out. Take yourself down if you can to elbows. And if you can even go even further over, which is obviously adding more weight to the stretch, so it will feel more intense, then you can go down. If you're happy up here, I'll stay up here so I can talk to you, then stay there. And just notice your breath again in this position. So breathing gently through your nose. See if you can let your faces relax. If you imagine your face like a mask, you want to just allow the mask to melt around our skin. Seeing if you could just let your eyes relax, particularly if you look at a screen a lot. The eyes do carry strain, so see if you can let them soften. Good. And just take one more breath here. Let it go. And then slowly, without disturbing yourself, keep that focus more internal. Come back to either switch the legs if you're on your back. You might want to take a little walk out through the legs if you're in a downward dog. And then you're going to take the left knee and bring it to the left wrist. And then shuffle, shuffle, shuffle that foot forwards as much as you can. And then just see where is a good position for you to be in. That's it. Either elbows or all the way. Good. Hello, Gay. You all right? If you're done already with that, you can just, you know, sit and do some breathing. You could do the rocking the pelvis forwards and backwards on the on the sit bone. Do a few of those. Yeah. Excuse me. Wherever you are, just take a little moment to check in with the breath. Notice the breath coming in. Get to the top of the breath and then notice it flowing out. It's a little bit like this wave action, right? So breathing in, going to the top of the wave, and notice that tipping point as you then breathe out on the downward wave. Good. Be with any discomfort if you possibly can. Keep breathing through it. I always think stretching is such a good metaphor for life. Good, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Slowly, slowly bring yourselves out of it. And let's just sit to finish. Take a moment. Take a couple of deep breaths for yourself. Notice your spine really elongating, but also notice as much as you're going up and out, you're also going down and in. And there's that always that two-way force through the spine that gives you both stability and lightness at the same time, and ease as well. And just shrug the shoulders a couple of times. Good. Very well done, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Lovely, lovely to see you all, so many of you. And I'll be back next week. Come and join me and invite more people. Any questions? I'm going to stop this.